Thank you very much for the sub, dude. 31 months. Holy hell. My guy. 31 months. And I don't have the thing going because we're doing Zatchat, but I'll put it back up later, Lego Party. Because I want to make sure we fire off those 510mm guns in your honor, of course. Puddin', do you know if we have a giveaway going?
Yeah.
Oh, Kitten, thank you. You okay?
Yeah, I went to go make myself a drink. I needed some rum.
Ah, okay, cool. Alright, just checking. We didn't hear from you for a bit, so I wanted to make sure you were okay.
I'm okay.
Cool.
Just needed
It was all M Captain worried about you. After all
Ew.
those horrible things you said about him, he was so worried.
Alright.
Well, that's because we had already found out in another chat that he's got this crush on me that he doesn't want to admit to.
Oh, God. So, talking about map positioning. Boy, this one's a tough one for destroyers. We'll start with destroyers. This is the typical ranked battle setup. And here is generally a strong position for destroyers. But destroyers typically screw this approach up. They come around the corner, and they go right into C, and then they stop, point it this direction. No, 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 no. Just like with Hotspot, you need to give yourself an escape route. And if you point like this, what's your escape route? Forward into, hey guys, and then you die? Or backwards into the guys that are flanking shooting you. This is not a big rock. This doesn't give you a lot of cover. So you need to give yourself the ability to get out quickly if needed. So a better way to come into this island is either to come around and purposely beat yourself here and then reverse yourself behind the island like that. Well, not so far out, but you know what I'm talking about. Reverse yourself to here. Alternately, you can come in from around this part of the island and hang in a left and get to the safe island this way. Either way is okay. There is a much riskier position, though, you can do as a destroyer, and that's come to this island. Now, this island is extremely risky because it can get you flank shot from here, especially if you've got a destroyer or something that goes strong up the middle. And it's also difficult because if you have a destroyer that's hiding behind this island, you really can't do anything about it. But I absolutely love going here. I talked about the Chad destroyer position in the last map on Hotspot. In my opinion, this is the Chad destroyer position on Mountain Range. Because I'm going to clarify that by saying, you have to be running a destroyer that's got Hydro. Especially German Hydro if you can. A Z52, a Z46, a Loyang, the new Loyang Black that's coming out soon. And those kinds of destroyers are huge because you pop your Hydro as you approach the island. You don't want a destroyer on the other side of the island. If the destroyer's on the other side of the island and you two are buddied up against it, you'll proxy spot each other, and then you just have to pray that your team is better at shooting than the enemy team. You don't want to be in that. So, coming up to the island like about here, pop your Hydro, you'll detect a destroyer on the other side. Most of the times, if a destroyer gets spotted, he panics and freaks out and runs away. So he'll turn and run, and your teammate can shoot him, while you get and snuggle up right here and get the C-cap for free. That's why I like this position. Sometimes you'll also catch destroyers that are coming from mid into that soft spot to that island over there. Okay, so that's why I like over here. Now, keep in mind, on the other side, it's not as safe because you've got this beach area here. So you can still do it. It's just you don't have as much coverage, especially from flanking shots from up at A. See, if you wanna block that shot, you have to move all the way up here, and then you can see now you've got almost everything up north of C that can shoot you. So you can play over here. It's just much harder to do. And rounding out our safe positions for destroyers and hotspot is this island here. This island is a pain in the butt. Shakaro, yes, the north is typically a better spot, but this is still a very strong island to hide behind as a destroyer. And part of the reason why this is actually a really strong island to hide behind is because you can actually kind of move your destroyer up and peek through here and get a quick idea of what's coming. And you have to be careful because you can spot it yourself, but you can play the games back and forth like that and have some fun with that, you know? So that's a consideration. Harley, I saw you just sent me a replay. Do you want to use that as your free sub replay? Just let me know. But anyways, so yeah, this is an okay island for the south. The thing about this island, is you can see how, just like up to the north, there's a lot that you have to get across. But this island is deeper into sea cap, so it's actually harder to get to. It takes you longer to get to it than the safe island up to the north. Also, because of the way the island tips work, this path is longer. Yes? Okay, no problem, Harley. So keep that in mind as well when you're thinking about trying to come up here, okay? But it's tough because of where you can run into cruisers. Now, in the midsection here, as a destroyer, generally I don't like. I didn't mention this on Hotspot, but I might as well mention it now. Generally speaking, I think of the middle line here as an asymptote. It prevents me from going past it. I don't want to go much beyond that island there, okay? Or that line. Unless I've got significant force supporting me, I'm only going to come up to maybe here, maybe over here, just to get spots on the center, and then I'm going to duck back up. As a destroyer, you can also, I've done this so many times in Kitakaze and Akizuki in ranked, grab the cap and luck chuck your torps this direction. You might get a destroyer that wants to spawn to cap over here in the front so that they can then move farther up, and you can catch them with your torpedoes quite easily if you aim your torps for this top part of the cap circle here. Generally speaking, unless this is a random battle with the A cap off to the far west center and B in the center, and C a little bit, I think C is a little bit farther off in a random. I don't like playing in these islands unless I'm in a French cruiser or something else that's gonna depend on assistance. What's the grid square size? 48 by 48. So the problem with mountain regions is it's such a damn big map. If you're fighting in the islands here, you're not helping here. You're not helping over here. I don't like fighting in them unless I have to. Lightninger, we're talking about ranked and random battles right now. King of the Sea is a whole different animal. Any sort of competitive where there's a lot of communication, clan battles including, it's much more difficult to talk about this kind of stuff because, frankly, there are strats that work based on specific circumstances that you're trying to build. So, I can't talk to all of those, of course. Any questions about destroyers at this point? We're coming up on 10 minutes on this map.
I'll be right back.
All right, seeing no questions, let's then move on to cruisers. Cruisers, French cruisers. Islands are your friend. Over here, you could do a French cruiser over here, but you see how you got this landmass that just kind of blocks you? I don't like taking a French cruiser over here much on the east line, unless I am going to kind of park. So a very strong French cruiser position is Delta 10. Maybe even Delta 9. But I like Delta 10. So I'll, pardon me as I fly over there, it takes a little while. But Delta 10 is a very strong position because, and you know what, while I'm doing that, I'm going to take my ship And I'm just gonna move it over here. Crap. By doing that, I just lost my damn thing. Press plus? I did. This is the largest the minimap goes. This is not a replay, Kadoo. This is a live game. So it's just a random training ring. Ocean next? Oh, God. So, anyways. Delta 10. If I've got my bow up here, like this. Okay. I can have my guns pointed south to cover this channel. And in a French cruiser, I can be shooting and stuff like that. And then, if I need to, I've got an escape route. I hit the W key, and then I cut left, and I can work my way up here, all the while firing down to the south. All right. So, well, I'm hitting plus. I don't know if that's. I guess it is speeding up my flying a little bit. Nope, it's not. I don't know. So that's French cruisers, right? Anything that's flanking. A cruiser that's more stationary, like a Des Moines, for example. I always like hanging out right here. You've got your big island shields to the right of you. You can pull forward if you need to, radar, and back up. And by the way, a French cruiser, the reason why this is so strong is because it can hit the backside of that safe island right there. If you put a French cruiser way off to the side flank, it can hit down here. And that's what you want. If you've got a radar cruiser heading here, especially in ranked, then you want something that can get the destroyer out of here. Okay? So, anyway, this is a very strong position for a American-style radar cruiser like a Des Moines. I don't like here as much for a Des Moines simply because there's a little bit too much open here. You can play it this way, but I find that this is better for a Moskva or Stalingrad or Petro with that stronger bow armor. You know, you gotta be careful not to pull too far out, but you can afford to sit here, and you'll bow tank pretty much all the shells from here, all the shells from here, and maybe all the shells from here depending on what your angle is. So Russian cruiser, very strong right here. American cruiser. Oh, look at that. There's water inside the island, guys. Ah. It's cool. That's like a secret grotto you can go into. Yeah, Glacial, congratulations on winning the giveaway. You could also put a Des Moines over here. Peeking around the corner and stuff. This can also work. It can hit you right over there too. You know, you can hit destroyers maybe that are behind the island. So I've seen some Des Moines go over here because then you can island hop to the next island if you need to move up. Putin was talking about keeping an eye on the map and combat situations, and you can absolutely do that with your positioning, whichever way you want to go. And then to the south. So hopefully by now you're generally getting an idea. When I look at an island, I'm thinking to myself, how much protection does that island give me? You know, this is an okay position for an American cruiser. Russians can go here too. Over here, the problem with over here is you can't go beyond this spot. You can really only go over here. You go too much farther, and now you're open to flanking shots from here or from over here. That's just too much of an angle. Ooh, a mystery gift. So generally speaking, to the south, you're going to go here. Yes, Glacial. Well, I think Kitten will take care of it.
Already handled.
That's because you're awesome.
Mm.
Thank you very much, Kitten. Now, from the south side, if you're over on the west, some cruisers like to stick themselves over here. Please don't do that. It's very easy for you to get smacked. You can do that in a Russian cruiser, but I wouldn't do an American cruiser over there. You could do an American cruiser over here, But the same problem comes into play if you don't have coverage over here, if you're not sure what's up in the islands. In a ranked battle scenario, this is a very strong position for a Des Moines or any other kind of radar cruiser. Okay? In a random battle situation, though, I might generally play a little bit farther back. You've seen smoke cruisers use that spot. Yeah, smoke cruisers can get away with it, absolutely. This is a really strong position. You've got the island here to block vision. You can park right behind it, and you can fire directly up to the north. And that can get you a lot of damage for free. Moskvas, I've done this with Moskvas, I've done this with Hindenburgs, I've done this with Des Moines, Worcesters, you get the idea, anything can shoot up here and cover this whole area quite nicely. So I like this spot a lot for cruisers. Of course, the islands, you can play in the islands if you want to. And then up to the north. Let's take a look at the northern perspective. Again, large area here. So let's say I'm a Des Moines and I'm right here. Okay, and I'm pointing my bow at the potential enemy. Hi, Kazumi. I could get shot at very easily from anything over here. And I can also get shot at over here. You always want to consider where damage can come from. If there's a battleship to the south, let's say there's a battleship right here, I'm watching that battleship very carefully. You've probably noticed when I fire my guns, I hit the right mouse button and I look out. And I'm looking and I'm assessing who can hit me and from where. So if that battleship that's over here moves to the right, well, I feel more comfortable poking out a little bit because he's moving farther behind the rock. That's right, Game Prodigy, I've already won. Now, if that battleship is staying put or moving this direction, I need to back up, right? I don't want that battleship to be shooting me, so I'm looking at this island as cover. All right, so keep that in mind. You can also do a Russian cruiser here, I suppose, is fine. As a Des Moines or something, a Salem, this is an okay position to be in, like right about here. Don't want to go too much farther than here, because you go too much farther than here, and you see how this opens up quickly, and then you're in trouble. Thanks for doing that, shout out, kitten. So you've got to be careful not to get too far out. Now, I was talking about a farming island for cruisers to the south. To the north, you could do something like this as well, right? You can fire almost for free over here. You've got the island to protect you. It's just you can't be as advanced out. You see how this one's got that lip, this one doesn't. So there's that as well. You do have that little island here. This is a bit of a trap. Try not to put yourself in here because, you know, that causes a problem for you. Beat Piemen, Salem, better take Hydro than Radar. In my opinion, yes, because the Radar just doesn't last long enough, and it doesn't have that range. So I like to go a little bit farther back. So, so that's cruisers. Anybody have any questions about cruisers? Okay. Then let's talk about battleships. Battleships on this map, same concept as what you have with, you know, positioning, general speaking. You follow your team, you work together with your team, and you want to make it set so that you can get into that you can you know, get into areas if needed. So let's say I've got a cruiser here and I want to defend him. A battleship, generally speaking, a battleship pointed like this with shots to the south is a very strong position. Okay, you're covering your cruiser buddy, you're covering your destroyer that's in the safe spot potentially, and you're making sure that nothing can creep up. All right. And if you get too much fire, well, you can duck behind this island and heal and stuff like that. All right. So For a battleship, I find this to be a very strong opening position. I don't, and same thing for the south, by the way. Anything I'm saying up to the north goes for the south too, because battleships generally aren't right next to islands. Okay. Now, if I'm doing this side, you could put yourself here as a battleship. I just don't like playing around the mid unless I know there's a destroyer to spot for torpedoes and destroyers and screen for me. I won't do that. Oh, Shakaro, so Kremlin Soyuz? No, not really. Generally speaking, I don't like to park my battleship bow in until I know that I need to use it bow in. So I'm still going to have my Kremlin or my Soyuz pointed this way early on. Okay? And later, let's say I pull in here. And let's say I see an opportunity to take the Far East over here. Now, Kremlin or Soyuz, they're great bow-in battleships, but they're great. You think of them almost like Russian cruisers, where you want to isolate one flank completely and then be able to focus on the other. So this is a very strong position. If you can get your battleship all the way out over to here at some point, this is a very strong position for a Kremlin or a Soyuz, because it allows you to work your way down. You don't want to go too quick because you get overextended very quickly, but it allows you to make your way down this part of the map, assuming, again, you've got somebody over here to spot for you. I've seen a lot of Russian battleships position themselves here in the Des Moines spot. The problem with this is they're just going to let themselves get farmed for little to no gain for a long time. And then where do you go from here? That's the real problem. Do you back up or go forward? If you go forward, where are you going to go? And all they do is they just attract all the torpedoes and they die. So I don't like starting with a Russian battleship in a bow-in position. I like starting with a kite away. Any battleship, really. I think kite away position is the way to go to start. Puddin', did you want to say something?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. Now, a battleship over on the west side, if I'm playing ranked, even randoms, over here is a good spot. Same concept as on the other side of the map. I have the ability to shoot to the south, and if I need to, I can run away for cover and for heal. Okay? Excuse me. So, generally speaking, that's what I like to do with a battleship on this side. Sorry, guys. Generally speaking, I don't want to go much past here. Unless I've got a sizable force that I'm trying to help out. Then I'll go past here and help out. Okay? But as a battleship, I want to secure the mid. And I want to be in a position to help with that. And if I feel like I need to, then I'll come over here and I'll support. The problem with over here is there's nothing to hide behind. You're out in the open, unless you go all the way to the 1-2 line. But that just takes you a long time. So, yeah, I like to put myself. Hey, Major Pain. I like to put myself up over here, or down over here. All right. Alternately, if you want to be cheeky, you could put your battleship in that position I was talking about earlier with the cruisers and be a jerk, but you know. Oh, you'll absolutely have good games, and you can also have bad games in that position over on the west as well, right? And generally speaking, you're going to go into a kite away position here, or if you want to play on the west, in my opinion, you kite away like this, so that you can look to the south and run behind this island if you need to and go more into the middle. One of the two is perfectly fine. You can definitely get away with that, yeah, with a battleship. Hydrate, here you go. I'm not saying they were long games. Right. Any other questions, guys? Anything to add, battleship-wise? It's not. It's not. It's not in my throat, unfortunately. Hardly. It's in my lungs. So, it's just. Yeah. I gotta break it free eventually. And it just hurts to cough right now. So, it's good times. Let me tell you. Anything else battleship wise? Okay. So, carriers. Oh my god, carriers are so tough to play on this map because of these islands. There's not a lot of safe spots for carriers to go. Really, this island is probably going to be your best position early on. And you know, if you lose west, you have to be ready to run east, and if you lose east, it's easier to run west from up here. Yeah, there's not really that much else you can do in a carrier, positioning wise. I've seen a lot of people take their carrier and go very aggressively, like put themselves over here at Delta 9, for example. Battery, nice. You're welcome, dude. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I've seen some people put their carriers over here, but that is extremely risky, especially early on. You're open to cross shots and all that kind of stuff. So you're welcome, dude. So I generally speaking, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with a more cautious, conservative position of my carrier early on, and then if I have to, I will move it. Let's go in the south. I mean, the concept is the same for the north, but the south here, you can kind of see there's a very small lip here. You can put your carrier. Tier 10 bow tanking for the win. Yeah, you can do that because you got the armored deck and all that. Ooh, what's this? That's cool. So you can definitely put yourself south of this island, and then let's say you guys win the west. Well, you can slowly but surely move your carrier up and kind of island hop. So you can move it up to here, and then you can move it up farther if you needed to. But yeah, that's about it with that. Yeah, I haven't seen that temple before either. It's like a Buddhist temple. With the design here, I'll drop the HUD for a second. Guys, any other questions about other ships, or it is a Buddhist temple, or a specific type of ship you want me to talk about on the map, or a specific location you'd like me to discuss? I'd be very happy to do so. That's cool. That is really cool. I might just have to screenshot this. It's Borbiter? Oh, okay. Thanks, Dutch. Very nice. One of those Easter eggs on the map that you don't really know exists until you do something like this and play around with it. And then you're like, oh my god! So that should handle things just about for this map then, and I think we're just about ready to start Stream Raiders. Alright. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was helpful for you. Those of you guys, as you know, I'm going to cut these up and put them out on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I really need to know, is this helpful for you? Is this something you want me to expand on and do more of? Because I can definitely work my way through all the different maps in the game. I don't have a problem with that. Is there something you want me to do differently, or a different thing you want me to be highlighting? I've never done this before, so I want to make this as educational for you guys as possible.